Have a great day. Good morning. Welcome to Saturday morning yoga. Thank you so much for joining me today on the mat. We're just going to go through a flow, hopefully awaken the whole body, give you some energy to start off your weekend. So we're going to start in a seated position. You can come to a hero's pose with the hips back on the heels, or an easy seated pose like a crisscross applesauce if that's more comfortable for you. We're going to start today with a breathing exercise. So find a pretty comfortable seat. We're going to want to feel really relaxed. And once you find your seat, go ahead and welcome a nice deep breath into the chest, expanding into the rib cage, rising tall through the crown of the head. And a long exhale out, just relaxing here. Bringing yourself fully into this present moment with the help of your breath. Drawing that awareness to each inhale, being deep and long, and each exhale, pushing all the air out. So to start the practice, we're going to do our Brahmari buzzing bee breath. We kind of start with our hands, placing the thumbs gently over your ears. And then bringing the middle finger over your eyes, you kind of just let the rest of the fingers fall onto the face. So maybe the index fingers around the eyebrows, and then just letting them, the ring and pinky, kind of just rest gently on your face. We're going to take a nice deep inhale. And on the exhale, you're going to hum. As long as you'd like, at whatever pitch you'd like. You notice maybe if you do a higher pitch hum versus a lower pitch, kind of vibrates different parts of your body, of your mind, really soothing the nervous system. We're going to do 2 more buzzing bee breaths here. So a nice deep inhale and buzz on the exhale. One more buzzing bee breath, a deep inhale. And on the exhale, once you finished your breath, just coming to release, maybe sitting a little bit taller, just soaking up the effects of the breath. The next deep inhale, we'll take our arms overhead, reach it nice and tall. And exhale, we'll bend into the elbows, squeeze the shoulder blades, open the heart center, really nice chest expansion here. Before releasing the hands down to the knees, rounding out through the spine, pulling the chin towards the chest. And inhale, coming back through neutral. Inhale, we rise the arms overhead. We're going to do side bends here. Exhale, left hand down, right arm goes overhead. I'm going to gaze up underneath the armpit here, kind of shining that armpit open to the sky, side bend. Inhale, we come back to center and take it to the other side. Right hand grounds, left hand goes overhead. Breathing deep into the side body, thinking about creating space. We're going to come back through center and just gently place the hands in front of you, lifting the hips into tabletop. Bringing the knees right under the hips, the shoulders right over the shoulders. We're going to do some more cat-cows here. Drop the belly down, open the chest. Inhale, lift the chin. Exhale, Tuck the pelvis, round through the spine, tuck the chin in. Push all the air out, belly going in towards the spine. Inhale, pull the navel down, gazing up. And exhale, round it out. We'll come back to neutral, find some wrist stretches. You can kind of just turn your fingertips back towards you and maybe lean the hips back a little bit, feeling a stretch into the wrist and forearms. You can maybe even add a little circular motion if that feels good. Turning the hands over onto the back of the hand, and we're going to point the fingertips towards each other here. We go side to side. And whenever you're ready, just releasing the palms down. Finding our tabletop, nice and strong, nice straight spine. We're going to inhale, reach the left arm up to the ceiling. And exhale, thread it underneath the right armpit, resting the left shoulder down. And we take a twisted threaded needle. You could take the right arm up to the sky or even bring it to the opposite hip, wrapping, kind of opening that chest, getting a nice twist. Releasing the right hand down, we inhale, reach the left arm up to the sky. And back into tabletop, we'll take it to the other side. Right arm reaches up. And we exhale, thread it underneath the left armpit. The right shoulder comes down. And the left arm comes up, or maybe to the opposite hip. Breathing into this twist. We'll take the left hand back down to the earth, pressing and lifting this right arm back up to the sky, and releasing into our tabletop. Gently walking the hands forward here. We're going to find a puppy pose, which is like a modified child's pose with our hips stacked over the knees. We're going to gently open the hands wide if you have some shoulder pain. And try to lay the heart down onto the earth. You can keep your forehead down or even try to lift the gaze forward, putting the chin on the mat. Whatever feels best for you here, experiment. Get a nice stretch through the back. And then we're going to inhale round through the spine forward, dropping the pelvis to the earth, squeezing the glutes as we open into our cobra. The chest opens, the shoulders are down and away from the ears. Really a nice expanded chest here. The abdomen is getting a beautiful stretch. Inhale. And exhale, lift the hips, push the hips back onto the heels. We take a child's pose, rounding through the spine. Tucking the back toes, we're lifting into our downward facing dog, straightening through the knees. We're going to do some toe raises here. We inhale, lift the heels onto the tippy toes, and then drop the heels down. Inhale, lifting the heels. We really want to feel that sensation of the butt sticking up and high. Really nice, open chest. The shoulder blades are drawing back into kind of place. The ears are away from the shoulders. Another lift of the heels coming onto the tippy toes. Exhale, drop the heels, downward facing dog. We're going to walk our feet in towards our hands and find a forward fold dangling. We'll bend the knees quite generously. Grabbing opposite elbow, we relax the upper body, the neck, the head into a forward fold, maybe swaying a little bit side to side. A deep inhale expands the belly. And an exhale draws the belly in towards the spine. Relax. We're going to inhale, hands to shin, halfway lengthen, straight spine, straight knees. And then release once again, exhale, forward fold. Maybe the knees stay a little bit straighter this time. You really want to engage through the glutes, the hamstrings as you fold, sticking that butt out. We're folding from the hips, not the low back. Trying to reach our belly towards our thighs. We'll inhale, bend through the knees, rise all the way up to standing. And exhale, release hands by the side or by your heart center. Finding a mountain pose, a standing strong Tadasana, grounding through all four corners of both feet, maybe shifting the weight a little bit, finding a nice even distribution of weight. Another inhale to rise taller through the crown of the head and the shoulders. And exhale, just relax, really feel the feet being supported here, being strong and rooted into the earth. We're going to go ahead and go for a sun salutation with some variation. We're going to come rise onto our tippy toes. So the inhale reaches arms overhead. We come onto the tippy toes. Holding here. Maybe gazing up to challenge the balance. And exhale, releasing the heels down, hinging from the hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lengthen. Exhale, plant the hands, step it back into plank. On the same exhale, we bend through the elbows, tucking them into the side, chaturanga. Feel free to drop the knees here, even drop the chest and chin if you'd like. We're going to inhale, pull through, drop the pelvis, come into a cobra with the thighs down, or lift it into an upward facing dog, trying to keep the thighs lifted off the ground. We exhale, push it back, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Take a nice deep cleansing breath here, expanding through the belly on the inhale. And exhale, release, let it go, open mouth, maybe audible. Inhale, lifting the heels, bending the knees, gazing forward. We step or hop to the top of the mat towards our hands, releasing into a fold. Before inhale, rising all the way up to standing. And releasing, hands to heart center or by your side. Beautiful. We're going to go again here. Inhale, rising high onto the tippy toes. Arms overhead, engaging through the core. Really nice, strong body here. And exhale, release the heels, hinge from the hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lengthen, hands to shins. Exhale, we plant the hands, step it back to plank, and we lower to the ground. Maybe chaturanga, maybe knees, chest, chin. We inhale, open the chest forward, upward facing dog. And we exhale, push the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Beautiful. We're going to inhale, lift the heels, bend the knees, flow or step your feet to the top of the mat, towards the hands, releasing into a fold. Before inhale, rising all the way up to standing. And exhale, hands to heart center or by your side. Beautiful. Always feel free to take it at your own pace, add any modifications to the flow. We're going to go through a bit of a standing sequence here. And yeah, feel free to use blocks and extra props to help you make these poses more accessible to you. We're going to go ahead, inhale, reach arms overhead. Again, rise onto the tippy toes. Stretching long through the body. Exhale, release the heels, hinge from the hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lengthen, hands to shins, straight spine, straight knees. Exhale, fold, plant the hands. We take it back, and we're going to hold a plank. So finding a nice strong plank, our shoulders are protracting, pressing away from each other. And our hips are low, not keeping them too high. We're kind of in a nice straight line from head to heels. We're going to go ahead and lift the right leg up. Finding a plank, hold. We're going to activate our core a lot through this flow, hopefully. And we're going to lift and press from here up into a three-legged dog. The right leg presses up high, three-legged dog. We'll bend the knee and draw some circles here. Getting into the hip, maybe switching direction. Beautiful. We're going to straighten through that hip, square it out. The bent knee is going to come into the chest, really engaging through the core as you press the knee up in and lifting up back into our three-legged dog. We draw the knee in towards the chest, lift it back up, three-legged dog. One more time here. We draw the knee in, and we're going to drop the knee down right below your hip. We kind of find like a tabletop with an extended leg. That back extended leg, left leg is going to lift. And then we're going to readjust kind of our balance here to lift the right arm as well, finding a bird dog. The back knee bends. We're going to reach the right front hand towards the back ankle, pulling it in, find a bird dog. Or that was our bird dog with extended. We pull the back ankle in. We're going to find a tiger pose. So we're going to kick the back ankle into the hand, kind of open through the heart center. Inhale, lifting the chin, lifting the gaze forward, challenging our balance here. And we're going to slowly release, extending the arm and knee back out, bird dog. Find a straight line from fingertips to toes. We drop the right hand down. We're going to press those shoulder blades away, rounding through the spine as the back left knee draws in towards the chest. And we step the left foot in between the hands. Coming into a low lunge here, we drop the hips forward. Inhale, rise with the fingertips. Low lunge. Exhale, releasing the hands to frame the foot. We push back the hips straight in through the front leg, flexing the front foot. Really thinking about that right hip drawing forward, the left hip drawing back. Get a nice stretch through the hamstrings. Want to think about also like opening the chest here, not rounding through the spine, but keeping a nice long spine, open heart center. The belly is reaching for the thigh. We're going to inhale, press forward, bending through the front knee, tucking the back toes. We extend off the back knee, extending that leg straight. And we're going to inhale, rise into a high lunge. Really engaging through the lower body here. Nice, strong, stable support. Kind of the deeper bend you can get into the front knee, the better. We want to try to get a 90-degree angle there. We inhale, lengthen. Exhale, drop the back heel. We pivot the hips open. Arms come to a T. We gaze forward. Warrior two. Again, a nice deep bend into the front knee. Engage the glutes. We're going to bring our hands behind our head. Like I said, it's a core exercise, a little bit of a core focused yoga practice today. We're going to drop the left elbow to the front thigh and then lift it back up into kind of our warrior two. So kind of some dips with this elbow to the front knee. We'll go for 3 more here. And whenever you're ready, releasing the front left forearm onto the front knee, we reach the right arm overhead, take a side angle, gazing up under the armpit. Exhale, we're going to release both hands kind of down to the earth. We're going to shift our weight to this front left foot, kind of shifting the hips over as we lower into a side lunge, Skandasana. Turning this back right knee and toes up towards the sky, lowering the hips, low side lunge. And we're going to pivot from here. So we're going to turn forward. The right hand grounds as the left arm reaches up towards the sky. And we're kind of in a twisted, it's a dragonfly twist, as they would say, maybe like a high lunge with a twist, one hand grounded. Beautiful. Breathing deep, just reconnecting with this present moment. We're going to turn into a side plank here. Last kind of finish off of this flow. We shift our weight into this grounded right hand and the right foot. As we come onto the outer edge of that right foot, we're going to sweep this top front foot into a side plank. Gazing up. You can stay here. You can add any variation if you'd like to take a little tree pose or lift the left leg. You can even take the left foot behind the right foot and take a wild thing, kind of flip dog. We rise the hips up, take a back bend, reach the left hand towards the front of the mat. Inhale. And whenever you're ready, we're going to exhale, plant both hands, shifting the hips back into plank position. Flow it out. We lower into a chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Whew. Nice work. We're going to inhale, walk our feet or hop our feet, float them up to our hands, releasing into a fold. Before inhale, rising all the way back up to standing. And exhale, find a mountain pose. Beautiful. Just taking a moment to reconnect before we go on to the other side. Inhale, rising arms overhead. Stretch it long. Exhale, hinge from the hips, forward fold. Inhale, we halfway lengthen, hands to shins, straight spine. Exhale, take it back to plank. We're going to hold the plank again. Beautiful. So finding a nice, stable, strong plank. We're going to inhale, lift the left foot, engaging through the glute. We're going to press it up and high into the sky, taking a three-legged dog. And we're going to bend into the knee, start to draw some circles with this knee opening into the hip. Maybe switching direction. And coming back through center with the knee, we draw it in towards the chest, kind of lower the hips into a plank. And then we extend the leg back up into three-legged dog. Draw the knee in towards the chest, kind of shift the weight forward. And we push it back, three-legged dog. We shift the weight in, draw the knee in. And we're going to drop the knee, the left knee down, and the back right leg will lift. Shifting our weight to also lift the left arm, bird dog. Finding a nice straight line between fingertips and toes. We bend the back toes in and we're trying to reach for this back right ankle or foot, kind of flexing through the foot a bit. We kick the ankle back into the hand, open the chest, gaze forward, tiger pose. Whenever you're ready, slowly releasing, extending both arm and leg back out into bird dog, releasing the left hand down. We inhale, kind of round through the spine as the back right knee draws in towards the chest. Step the right foot in between the hands. We're sinking into a low lunge here. Inhale, rise the arms overhead. Beautiful. Get a nice hip stretch here. On the exhale, releasing the hands to frame the foot, we push the hips back straight and through the front knee, flex the foot. We're finding a half split here. So we kind of want our hips to be stacked right over that back knee. Flexing through the front foot to get a deeper stretch. And we're going to shift forward, bending into this front knee, tucking the back toes, straightening the back knee. We lift into a high lunge. Really nice and straight and engaged through that back leg. Active glutes. Reach it up high. And exhale, we're going to pivot the hips towards the long edge of the mat. The back heel grounds. We find a warrior two. Again, a deep bend into that front knee. We take the hands behind the head. Inhale. We're going to do our dips again. The right elbow kind of going in towards this front thigh. And we use our obliques to lift us back up. Dip it down. And lift it back up. 3 more here. Kind of at your own pace, really bringing full awareness to your core. And whenever you're ready, dropping that front right forearm onto the front right thigh. We take the left arm overhead, take a side angle, breathing nice and deep into the side body. We're going to lower the hands down and kind of shift our hips over to this right heel. And then turning the knee and foot up to the sky, we take a low side Skandasana lunge. Feel free to, use your hands for balance here. Maybe challenge the balance by bringing your hands to heart center, using that one elbow, that right elbow to push the right knee out a bit more. We're going to pivot. The left hand grounds, the back foot pivots, and we're coming into kind of a lunge. The left hand stays grounded, and we reach the right arm up to the sky. And this is where we transition into our side plank. So whenever you're ready, kind of shifting onto the outer edge of that left foot, we sweep this right foot back, find a side plank. Whatever variations you'd like here again, maybe whatever you did on the other side, you do here. I'm going to go for a wild thing. We drop the right foot behind this extended left leg. And then stretch open the heart center, take a back bend, reach the right arm to the top of the mat, squeeze the glutes, inhale. And whenever you're ready, wherever you are, we're going to ground through both hands. Pivot the hips to face down, coming back into plank. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, bending into the elbows, lowering to the ground. Inhale, open the chest forward and up. And exhale, lift the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Taking a moment here to find your center, to find your breath. Feel free to even drop onto the knees and sit the hips back onto the heels. Take a child's pose. Beautiful. We're going to extend through the back knees, coming back into downward facing dog. And just walk the hands in toward the feet in towards the hands, releasing into a fold. Before inhale, rising all the way up to standing, arms overhead. And exhale, hands to heart center or by your side. Take a moment in this Tadasana. Kind of find a nice, beautiful posture. Beautiful. So we're definitely warmed up from here. I kind of moved fast through that flow, but that's okay. We're going to separate the feet nice and wide, pointing the toes out to an angle. Inhale, arms overhead. And we're going to exhale, bend into the knees, sit the hips as low as you can go, all the way into a squat here. You can keep your hands at heart center, grab them for support, or even put them behind your back for a little extra challenge. Really nice and tall through the spine, engage through the glutes. Beautiful. So from here, we're going to transition kind of into a peak pose, I'd say, a more challenging arm balance pose. So planting the hands will lift the hips, and you can kind of keep a bend in the knees, a bend in the elbows. We're going to go for crow. So we're going to try to place the knees onto the back of the arms, the triceps. And you can kind of find a balance using lots of strength. You want to kind of engage into that cat pose where we really rounded through the spine and really press those shoulder blades away from each other. And it's kind of more whatever you like to find. If you lean forward more and you find more parallel with the ground, it's going to be more of a balancing pose. If you're trying to show the heart, show the chest a bit more, kind of lean the body forward, it's going to be more of a core strengthening challenge. So whether you kind of want to find a balance or really find the strengthening challenge of the pose, you can play with that. But yeah, so maybe just experiment. You can start with lifting one foot at a time. If you can't really find the balance, that's okay. Kind of just build the strength, feel the core compressing every time you kind of lift a foot. Feel the arms, feel the strength through the shoulders. It's a lot of shoulder work. And feel the strength through the fingertips. Maybe even bend the fingertips a bit to give you some more extra stability. And if you can, find a lift off, you're going to want to try to bring your heels as close to the butt as possible. That'll really challenge your strength here. Once you're kind of done playing around, you can release the heels back into your squat, release the hands behind the hips, and kind of find a grounded seated position. We'll go ahead and extend the knees straight, head to toe, flexing through the feet. We'll inhale, rise the arms overhead, and exhale, hinge into a forward fold, head to toe. Feel free to bend the knees here, maybe even pedal the knees straight and bent. Want to try to think about reaching the belly towards the thighs, having an open heart, hinging from the hips and not the low back. And you might even find, for me at least, I know I find it when you engage through your quads and really engage the legs, sometimes you can get such a deeper stretch. We're going to inhale back up, planting the hands behind the hips. We're just going to counter pose our head to toe. We kind of squeeze the glute, lift the hips, find a reverse plank here. You can also bend the knees, find a reverse tabletop if that's more comfortable for you. Pointing the fingers tips forward and releasing all the way down. Bending into the knees, we find a boat pose. We're going to lift off the heels, kind of bring the knees in, engage to the core, find a V position between the torso and the thighs. Maybe extend the arms out. We find a boat. We're sitting on our sit bones and not the tailbone. We're going to lower into a canoe and rise it back up into a boat. We lower, extending legs, kind of extending down, keeping the shoulders lifted. We lift it back up into boat. Lower down into canoe, lift back up into boat. Again, we go down into canoe, and we lift it back up into boat. Once more, we lower it down, hold a low canoe here, lifted shoulders, lifted legs, squeezing the glutes, drawing the core in, and we'll release onto our backs, drawing the knees in towards the chest, maybe giving yourself a little rock side to side here. We're going to grab the outsides of the feet with our hands, but taking our arms between the legs, grabbing the outsides of the feet, happy baby, opening the feet away from each other. Maybe giving yourself here a little rock side to side, opening up through the hips. And just drawing your awareness back to your breath. Reconnecting with a deep, long breath. You can release the feet here, even hug the knees in towards the chest. Oh, we're going to go ahead and plant the feet, knees pointing up, arms by your side. We'll tuck the pelvis so the whole back is flat on the ground. And we're just going to lift the hips, kind of draw the belly button back in towards the spine, engage through the glutes. Putting all the weight onto the shoulders, really extending long through the neck. We find a bridge pose. So a few variations here. You can draw the feet in a bit more and maybe try to reach your hands towards your ankles, towards your heels. Maybe grab your ankles or heels. You can also plant the hands beside the ear and then press up into a wheel. I'm not going to do it myself. It's not quite in my practice at the moment, but just opening the chest and shifting your weight onto your hands. You're going to try to extend straight through the elbows into a wheel. This is just kind of your time to find a back bend, find some core engagement if you're still in bridge with me. We're going to exhale, release the hips all the way down. Beautiful. Hugging the knees back and towards the chest. We'll extend straight through the left leg, cross the right knee over the body as the right arm extends opposite out to the side. We're finding a deep spinal twist here. Drawing the knee down towards the earth, trying to feel that right shoulder blade, staying grounded. Breathing deep into the belly. And exhale. Feeling the belly button drawing back in towards the spine, maybe twisting a little bit more. We come back to center. Hugging the knees in towards the chest. The right leg extends straight. The left knee will cross over the body. The left arm extends. We take a nice deep spinal twist on the other side, turning the gaze. Again, just thinking about slowing down the practice and relaxing here. Deepening the breath. Really come back through center whenever you're ready. And finally release into our final resting posture of Savasana. Extending both legs straight, releasing the palms, maybe face up. Feel free to take up space here. Maybe use any props. If you're chilly, maybe finding something to warm you. To allow yourself to be comfortable here in this moment. Bring your awareness to your breath. Notice the rise and fall of your breathing. Letting go even control of the breathing. Releasing control of anything. With each exhale, release any tension or worries you might be holding on to. Let them drift away like clouds across a vast sky. If thoughts arise, observe them with kindness and let them drift away. Bring your awareness to your body that's so strong and capable. Take a moment to appreciate all parts of your body and what it allows you to do. Sinking into the support of the mat, of the ground beneath you. Allow yourself to be held and loved exactly as you are in this present moment. Feel the stable support of the ground below you. In this moment of rest, allow yourself to fully surrender and soften into rest. I welcome and encourage you to stay longer in this state of rest and Shavasana. If you like, you can join me in closing off the practice. Inhaling nice and deep, arms overhead, stretching the full length of the body. And rolling onto either side in a fetal position before gently pushing your way back into a seated pose. Finding a comfortable seat. Bringing your hands to heart center, a deep inhale, rises hands overhead. And exhale, bringing your hands to your heart center and just bowing to yourself in gratitude, taking another moment of appreciation for just practice and doing something good for yourself. I really enjoy practicing with you, and I hope you have a wonderful day ahead. Um, may all the peace be with you. Thank you so much. See ya.